Hello, everybody. Scott Golden with the Superstars of Wrestling Review series for December 19th, 1992. Here, we are almost to the close of 1992, and I wish we had the beginning of the year. I'm going to try and find the first 3.5 months or so, but the WWE Network starts us in the midpoint of April, end of April, and takes us through the end of the year. So, Dark Destiny against Crush. Crush obviously been a big deal. Dark Destiny dressed almost like an executioner. We've seen the executioners as a team before. Surfboard by Crush and more submission style moves, which is kind of weird. Dark Destiny makes his way to the second rope on the inside. Gets caught in a bear hug by Crush. Crush manages to talk about, basically aloha mentality in a seed promo, inset promo, and clothesline by Crush does the Shaka Bra on the outside. Military presses his opponent back into the ring, which is just an impressive sight if you've never seen it. Vertical suplex snaps him over into the ring, and Crush is in control all the way around. Speaking of all the way around, Crush hits a tilt-a-whirl suplex before hitting the cranium crunch on his opponent, and we are good there. Then we move to an update with Ric Flair and Razor Ramon. Basically, the inference is Bret Hart has been jumped the previous week. We kind of re-show that a little bit. Gene Okerlund overlays that. I can't believe Gene's going to be gone by the end of next year. Ric Flair and Razor Ramon imply that they have planned to get rid of Bret Hart once and for all. If Flair doesn't get him, Razor will. Uh, Flair does pretty strongly endorse Razor Ramon here. Basically, the endorsement of Ric Flair, I think, really helps for Razor to get over with the crowd. Then we go to Kamala and Bill Coy, or Bill Kobe, I'm sorry. Kamala still coming out with the spear and the shield. Young kids still look uncomfortable around Kamala, although that's going to change over the next month and a half. But Colby, at this point, a victim of the traditional Kamala. Strikes, chokes, punches, kicks, and really basic stuff. Chemistry on the outside a little more aggressive than he has been in the past. Kamala with chops, back elbows, and chokes. And it seems Chemistry wants more aggression out of Kamala. Kamala stands on the man's midsection rib cage. Big splash by Kamala, turns him over, gets the pin, and it seems as though Harvey, Whippleman, and Chemistry a little less happy than they were in the past. Reverend Slick tells people to be good to each other during the holidays, paraphrasing that big time, but basically, so he acknowledges the holidays and tells everybody to spread holiday cheer. They're pretty strong on holiday stuff here a few days before the Christmas holiday. Big boss man, easy for me to say, and Barry Hardy. Of course, we're moving towards the Royal Rumble. Bam Bam Bigelow and the boss man is on tap for that, although not officially announced yet. Barry Hardy dumb enough to stand and kind of brawl a little bit with the boss man. Hardy manages to run the ropes and kind of ducks. Meanwhile, on the outs or shrinks back, actually doesn't physically duck, shrinks back from the boss man though. Hard shots by the boss man, and again, kind of go with an Irish whip and back elbow there. Uh, Meanwhile, Doink is tying a wire, for lack of a better term, string, if you want to go another term, across the guardrail area. Boss Man does the holding Hardy in a position and then manages to give a thumbs down before hitting a backbreaker on Hardy. Hardy goes hard into the buckle, and the Boss Man gets the Boss Man slam. 1, 2, 3. Hooks Hardy up with the handcuffs, and then Boss Man heads to the back. As he runs to the back, He trips over the ripcord set by Doink. Could have twisted his ankle. Doink is laughing in the aisleway, and we begin to see that the clown is an evil clown, and we hadn't really necessarily known that before. We kind of got the hint, but here we begin to see him messing with the baby faces a little bit. Shawn Michaels does a lot of talking about being the Intercontinental Champion, kind of teases the match with Marty Jannetty, ignores the Sherry situation, mentions it in passing a little bit. Tatanka talks about wanting to make 1993 even better than 92, talks about wanting to be a good role model, and the like, talks about wanting to maybe win some gold. Yokozuna against Rich Myers is up next. Yokozuna, of course, with Mr. Fuji. Not officially, I don't think, announced for the Royal Rumble yet, although I think that those match announcements begin to happen here in the next few weeks. And so, Yokozuna, obviously the size, the girth of the man, very shocking to the audience. Big surprise there, not. And Yoko, again, for his size, a pretty big deal. Fuji still has some hair at this point. Dark, and I assume, died. And then we see a release suplex by Yoko early. Yes, release suplex, backdrop or leg drop to the back of the neck of his opponent, Rich Myers, who becomes a standout in the Maryland level independent scene. If you haven't seen Myers from the late 90s, early 2000s, worth going out of your way to see the guy. Super talented guy who never got nearly enough credit. Chops and all that in the corner, and a big splash in the corner before a bonsai drop by Yokozuna. Then we go to Damien Demento. Demento doesn't last very long, once known as Mondo Clean in the New England independent area and the IWCCW area. But we kind of go into a very basic match with Demento. Interesting that they've started using a bit more of the video wall. It's more pronounced. I think they started using it in 1991, but here at the end of 92, you see it with guys in action on the video wall more than before. So, I mean, think about that. 28 years ago, they're still using the video wall. And Demento talking to himself, kind of using punches and kicks and scratching away. Cuts an inset promo that makes very nonsensical sense, as in nonsense. Neckbreaker by Demento, leg drop by the big man, and he gets a victory, but he's still not satiated even by that. Mean Gene Okerlund with the Royal Rumble report, and we kind of go through that a bit. Ico Pro obviously going to present that, the Rumble on January 24th. Obviously, with the Rumble being the main focus, less matches normally, but Bret Hart and Razor Ramon are mentioned here. Gene Okerlund does a whole lot of talking about that match. Yokozuna, Bob Backlund announced for the Rumble. The Berserker announced here. Undertaker announced. And I think that's it, at least for this week. Yokozuna being an early announcement, should have been some foreshadowing for some people, might not have been. Jerry Lawler declares that he is the true king and that he can, in fact, be seen as a guy who should be, in the Rumble, declares his intention to be in the Rumble. Actually surprised that Lawler never came close to winning a Rumble with the King moniker, but maybe it was too close to home or anything. Laverne McGill and Chris Helm against Money Incorporated. Money Incorporated, of course, still your tag team champions. IRS, more so with the briefcase than before. Halliburton briefcase, metal in nature, and Doink the Clown out there with the big, rubber circus mallet. IRS talks about everybody cheating on their taxes, as he always does. DiBiase still manages, even with an enhancement talent, to use superior wrestling skills, hammerlock, arm bars, and the like, really basic stuff. But DiBiase does everything so well. Independent guys should watch him just for timing and all of that. Hip toss by DiBiase, and Doink again shown with the mallet at ringside trying to get mischief. IRS manages to dominate both of his opponents. Back suplex by IRS. Of course, IRS, pretty big deal. The Nasty Boys do an inset promo where they want to get even with Money Inc. for their involvement with Jimmy Hart and also for the Tag Team Championships. So there's a lot of talk of IRS and Money Inc. being a thing. $1 Million Dream and a victory for the Tag Team Champions. Event Center, Tito Santana talks about wanting to challenge all of the new people, talks about Bret Hart being champion, talks about the fans being behind him for years, talks about Damian Demento and other challengers that he's ready to take on. The Head Shrinkers cut a promo that's rather nonsensical. Offa does a little bit of talking, which kind of, while staring up at the sky, kind of implying that the Head Shrinkers are going to take over the tag team division. Virgil talks about all the new people coming into the World Wrestling Federation, and he likes new challenges and a happy holidays. Message from all of the superstars, led predominantly by Bret Hart, from all the superstars standing in the middle of the ring, baby faces all together, as we close this edition of Superstars of Wrestling. We'll be back to close out the month here in a little bit. Until next time, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Until next time, everybody.